Well, welcome, Heather Graham.
Thanks for having me on your cool podcast.
Oh, thank you. You're so cool. I was just thinking about all the things that you've done and all the movies that you've been in that have been so iconic. I mean, you've been part of some really cool stuff. To name a few, The Hangover, Austin Powers, Boogie Nights. I mean, that's just like top three.
That's sweet. Thank you.
And now you're coming back with directing and starring in your own movie. You wrote it too, right?
I wrote it. Yeah.
And this is your second time directing.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And your first one I saw did really well. I need to go watch it. I'm such a Rotten Tomatoes girly.
Yeah.
I love seeing the like,
Yeah.
so I get like proud. I'm like, oh my God, that's a good Rotten Tomatoes score, you know?
Oh, thanks. No, I mean, it's been really fun to start directing and I love it.
So what would you say? Like acting, directing, both?
I mean, look, to be totally honest, directing is super stressful and hard. It's extremely hard. And it kind of gives you like a mini nervous breakdown, but it's also more satisfying. So acting, I feel more confident, I'm more established, but it's really fun just as a woman who watches things. Like I just love seeing female driven stories. So it's fun to make one.
Yeah, and I saw that because I saw Chosen Family. It's so good. And really, like you said, the friendships, like that was kind of like the theme. Like friendships. I don't want to give away
Yeah.
the whole story, but kind of friendships, hoes over bros, like friendships
Yeah,
over
yeah.
everything. And that sort of seems to be the theme in like your first directed film as well. And kind of
Yeah.
your life.
I guess it's funny. Yeah, I did. I just recently did another interview where I feel like it has been a reoccurring theme in my work. Just the idea of sometimes, your biological family doesn't fully give you everything you needed and you get it from your friends. And that's been the case in my life. So I do have some amazing friends, and I guess I just wanted to celebrate them.
So are you a girl with like tons of friends that's like everyone's your best friend or like a few good ones?
I wouldn't say I have tons of friends, but I do have like a very strong friend base. But of course, how many really good ones do you have? Maybe like, I don't know, 10 to 20. Like I would say I do have about, no, I do have a pretty great, I've been really lucky. You know how people get gifts in their life? I feel like the gift that I've gotten is like pretty special friends. But yeah, the friends that are super duper close, maybe I probably have about 12.
Wow. So
Yeah.
were you a bridesmaid many times?
I mean, I have been a bridesmaid, but just I think I've been really good at maintaining like friendships. Like I'm shooting a movie in South Africa right now, and I have a friend staying with me. I've known her for 20 years. I have some other friends I've known for like 35 years.
Wow.
So that it's such a great feeling when you've had a friendship for that long and people really know you. And I like the idea of being like when someone really knows you and they can lovingly tease you. Like I love that vibe, which I think I've put in my film, just people that can just tease you in a loving way.
Yeah, they tell you the truth too about stuff.
Right.
Do you have any like industry friend, like any celeb friends that you hang out with, or are they all kind of not from the industry?
I mean, I have some friends that are in the industry, but I mean, Molly Shannon is probably one of my most famous friends. And I have some friends that are, writers and different, but, I don't have like, probably more of my friends are not, big stars.
I was thinking about how, and maybe I'm wrong, but you kind of managed to stay unaffected by like the Hollywood thing. I don't know if to call it, it's not a curse, but you kind of like maintain the like working on really cool projects, it being kind of a job, and it doesn't look from the outside in that like your life was totally rattled by it, shaken by it. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've done a lot of hard work to kind of, keep my sanity in the entertainment business, and I would credit a lot of that to having really great friends around me, that I can just vent to and that can, love me, and I do a lot of self-help stuff too. I'm totally into that.
Yeah, I saw you do like affirmations with your friends. What is that?
I do. I do. Well, okay. So I have these friends, these three friends, and we get together and you take your deepest fears and you take the things that you want and you write them down. And then you make up these affirmations as if you already have these things. Or like say your deepest fear is, I'm going to be homeless. So then your affirmation is, I'm living in a state of financial abundance and I make money. I make so much money doing what I love, something like that.
Wow. And do you write it down or do you say it out loud?
I write it down in my phone and I read it every day, twice a day. And I have probably about 40.
Can you
I
share
have
like,
so.
can you share like a big one or a big
Yeah.
few?
I mean, one is just like I'm lovable, just something. I have things about relaxing because I'm kind of a little bit uptight, and like I kind of have anxiety. But okay, I approve of myself. I am lovable exactly as I am. Um, I have a lot about just being in a relationship and just, I had one about buying a house and then I'm living in my dream house with a view of the ocean that I can
Wow.
afford and I got it.
In California?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I did that once about finding parking. I was like,
Mm,
like,
I love it. I know I was gonna say we should do one for you. What's yours? You have a
wait,
very very finding parking is
no, but
that's funny. I
this
love that
is
that's
kind
your
of because I remember that being my first memory of like manifesting something.
it
No, it's actually
works.
not. It was a very specific, like I was looking for parking for hours. And then I think I was talking to like my mom's friend who was like kind of also into that stuff. And she's like, you need to like envision yourself there already, like the way
Mm.
exactly how you said it, like that it matters how you even think it. So I
Right.
like
You're supposed to
literally,
think about it like it's already happening.
right. So I was like, I found the parking. I'm in the side. I remember like I really committed because I was so desperate and I found the parking. But that is funny. That is
That's awesome.
but would you say you manifested your career or were you not yet doing that when you were younger? Or maybe you were doing it
I mean, I
subconsciously.
I mean, I was kind of like an insecure, awkward teenager, and I was, like in high school, I didn't really have a lot of guys that liked me. So, it was like one of those moments where I'm like, I'm going to become a movie star, and then you'll see.
First of all, it's kind of
Like,
unbelievable to think that you are saying that you weren't good looking in high school.
I mean, I definitely was not considered to be good looking in high school.
That's wild. It sounds like I'm watching a rom-com and the hot girl in the grade is saying that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it doesn't
No,
sound believable.
no, my family, especially my father was extremely religious, and I was awkward. I didn't really dress well. Not really sure how to do my hair and makeup. I should send you a photo. And yeah, I was nerdy. I was in like advanced placement classes, and I think I just wasn't that confident.
Yeah. So you were like, I'm gonna be a movie star and show you, and then you did. That's what
Yeah,
happened?
and actually, I got cast in License to Drive playing the pretty cheerleader who's popular, and it was so funny because that was the complete opposite of what I was in my school, but of course, what I wished I was. And then I remember it came out right as I was graduating, and I remember people going like, "Oh, maybe we should have like paid more attention to her."
Wait, how old were you when you got that gig?
I got the gig when I think I was 17, and then it came out when I was 18, and that was when I was graduating.
Oh, so you were still in school like after it
I
came
was in high
out.
school.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you feel like a difference after the movie came out?
Yeah, yeah. It really obviously it's a huge confidence booster. I mean, I didn't know how to do my makeup. I didn't know how to do my hair. I think at one point I made my bangs go straight up. It was really it was just didn't really have good taste in what I was wearing. And then suddenly here I am on a movie set. I've got a professional hair and makeup person and the stylist is like, and I remember going with this stylist and I was like, my prom's coming up. Can you help me find a prom dress? And so I actually have a pretty cool prom dress compared to all my
So
other friends because I had
she
like
found it for you, the
yeah, and you know
stylist?
what? It's actually a really cool dress and I still have it.
Wait, so you were in the Midwest, right? You grew up in the Midwest?
No, this was actually the Valley. I was born in Wisconsin, but through my father's work, he was transferred. So we moved when I was 4, and I went to high school in Agora, California.
Oh, okay. So you had access to the industry, like to go to
I
auditions,
did.
and it was like
Yeah.
close enough.
No, I mean, when I got my driver's license, I was driving into the city and going to acting classes and, stuff like that.
So you committed to this like dream that did you want it your whole life or did it actually start from I'm gonna show you?
I mean, I remember going to see this play when I was, I don't know, 8, and it was Peter Pan, and I love Peter Pan. And I remember that she flew over the audience. It was like Sandy Duncan was playing Peter Pan, and she was on these wires, and she was flying. And I just thought, oh my gosh, she flies. Like, I want to do that. That looks so fun. So there was a mixture of things. And I liked, reading books and making up stories and being kind of in a fantasy in my head. So it was a mixture of like being an angry, awkward teenager and wanting to be independent and make money and just loving movies and TV and having a good imagination.
And you spoke about the fact that your parents didn't really support that dream, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say more that my father didn't totally support the dream because he's extremely religious. I mean, they're Catholic, but the way that he's Catholic doesn't seem like how normal people are Catholic. He's just like extreme, extreme. And my mom, I'm not really clear how much she really believes in it or if she's just going along with his what he wants. I don't know. But it was basically like don't have sex before marriage and like everyone in Hollywood's like a Satan worshiper, stuff like that.
So you kind of knew from when you were young, like, this isn't for me. Like you knew you wanted to break
No, when
out
I
of
was
that.
really young, I was like, this is great. Everything's awesome. It's only when I got older, I was like, okay, this is pretty, pretty, pretty hard, because we weren't really allowed to watch R-rated movies. I have a younger sister, or like, go on a date or things like that. We just were not allowed really to do anything.
So did you completely leave your house after high school?
I did. That's one of the reasons I think why I really wanted to be successful. I wanted to make money, be independent, not have to follow these rules that seem to make no sense to me. Yeah.
And you kind of went like in the other direction. I mean, your roles were like, kind of provocative. I mean, Boogie
Yeah.
Nights, you were Nikki, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's when I was 26. So like I had
Yeah.
been whatever, moved out. But yeah, I mean, okay, so when I was 18, I was in Drugstore Cowboy, which is a movie about a bunch of drug addicts. So, I don't know if it was just the roles that I was offered or if I was just drawn to sort of the opposite of what I had grown up as. I mean, it is
Yeah.
fun as an actress to play like extreme characters.
Did you care? Because I know you've spoken about how you are estranged from them. Did you care? Like they're gonna watch this, they're not gonna be happy, they're gonna, or did you kind of,
I kind of just knew that if I pursued what I wanted to do, that they were going to be really. It's mainly my father. I think probably my mom in some ways is proud. I don't know. I don't talk to them, but I think I just decided that it's kind of what my movie is about: being a people pleaser. Do I want to not be my authentic self in order to people please basically my father? And the answer is no. I have to just follow my artistic path in a way that feels good to me.
yeah. And are you in touch with your younger sister? You mentioned you have a younger sister.
I'm estranged.
Estranged. That's such a harsh word,
Yeah, I guess is it better to just go no? I'm not in touch with her. No, I mean my sister, she's cool. Like I don't have anything against her. It's just like I think that my parents just created like a bad dynamic, so that wasn't helpful for us, But I have no hard feelings against my sister.
Yeah, it's really interesting how, that kind of created this world for you, like you said, of like friendships being so important and leaning on them and then creating movies about them. So,
Well, because I think I didn't really know like what was normal until I, moved out of my house and started to have friends. And I realized, oh, not everyone's family does these things. Like, and my family isn't totally normal. And maybe that's good because I thought, oh, something's wrong with me that I'm not really on board with everything. Mainly it was my father. My mom was just kind of going along with whatever crazy rules he was making up. And it was a relief when I realized, oh, there's people out there that are just like they don't believe these things, and I can feel really good around them. And like just to learning how to like love myself unconditionally, having to be in this extremely crazy interpretation of my father's crazy interpretation of religion.
yeah. And you seem to have like by Instagram a really cool and healthy relationship now, right? You have a boyfriend now for a few years.
I do. Yeah.
who's not in the industry, right? Because you also spoke about kind of not wanting to date in the industry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like open to whoever, whatever, what falling in love. It is nice. I mean, it's funny because he doesn't know a lot of movies. So refreshing about being with somebody who doesn't really all these things I've spent my whole life caring about. He doesn't really know that much about it and he doesn't really care that much about it. I think he's proud of me, but he started watching all my movies, which is hilarious. Like he started watching
Wait, what
them
hasn't he
all.
seen? What he hasn't seen like
A
the
lot.
like has he seen Austin Powers? This is why you tagged me.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I think after we started dating, he went back and just he's like, "I'm so impressed. You've done all these movies." Um, I don't know. It's cute. He's proud of me.
But he knew who you were when you met.
He knew who I was. Yeah,
Okay.
we
And I
actually met in a bar like years earlier, but I was with another group of friends and kind of slightly dating this other guy that I was with, and he'd asked, "Oh, can I buy you a drink?" And I said, "No." And then we remembered that when we started dating, like, I met you a long time ago in like 2001 or something.
what? That is crazy. What, you crossed paths and then nothing happened, and then years later met again?
Set up. Yeah, we got set up by a mutual friend.
Wow. Being set, oh, you do say in the movie, like being set up is better, right?
Yeah, totally.
So you believe that, like you've tried it all and being set
Look,
up
I
is the
mean,
way to
you have a
go.
better chance of like not axe murderer, whatever. If you meet somebody, I mean, I haven't done a lot of app dating, but I did go on an point. And if you don't know somebody at all and you have no friend that vouches for them, it's just slightly a woman more scary. I don't know how you find it. Like,
I
are you
know.
married
I'm
or?
married with kids. Yeah. So I didn't
Oh,
even get to
wow.
do, I didn't like apps to me, like I'm a dinosaur. I'm like, what are apps? Like I
Oh
didn't
my
even
God.
get to that point in my life. I know he's, I was way,
Well,
yeah,
good for you. You're in a relate. How long have you guys been together?
like 2011 till now. That's like what,
That's
14
great.
years. I know it's a lot
I
of
mean,
years.
so you have the dream. You don't have to go on the apps. Good for you.
Thank you. I know. Sometimes I'm like, can I swipe for you just to see like what happens when you do that? I
I
know.
do
So
vicariously live through my friends, like going on there. I'm like, just want to. It's fun to look at someone else's dating app when it's not
yeah,
yours.
I know when it's not yours. And then they're like, no, believe me, I want to delete this like
No, my
1,000
friends are like,
times.
this is hell. I hate it. I'm like, this is fun. Let's look through all these options.
I die when I post Leo and you guys are like, reminder you have a dog. Like it makes me sad. We love Leo so much. He's been part of our lives since 2014 when Hus literally bought me a puppy for my birthday. Like who does that? Are we in a movie? We would do anything for Leo. And that's why when you have a pet, you want to have pet insurance. Today's episode is sponsored by the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. At the end of the day, your pet needs insurance, especially like as they get older. Like you want the best for them. The vet bills can really add up. And so that's why you should check out pet insurance. With ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, you can focus on the care your pet deserves and cover what matters most. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier for pet parents like you to help your pet get the care they may need. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program has been around for over 18 years, and they've helped more than 600,000 pets during that time. They allow you to customize your plan, helping ensure that your pet's plan is as unique as they are, because vet bills can really add up, especially when you're least expecting it. It's simple. Use their app to submit a claim and you'll receive reimbursement for eligible vet bills directly into your bank. To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/notskinny. That's aspcapetinsurance.com/notskinny. Again, that's aspcapetinsurance.com/notskinny. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independent American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The SPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in business of insurance. Just love all my sponsors today. You guys, Huggies. This episode of Not Skinny But Not Fat is brought to you by Huggies Skin Essentials. I've said this before to you guys, but when you have a baby, there's so many diaper brands out there and it's okay. You could go try them all. You can decide what's best for you. For me, since Noah was born, it's been Huggies because I just found that my kids leaked the least with Huggies. They were the most comfortable for them. They were the most comfortable to me. Like when I touch it, it just feels nice and soft and amiable, just like I really, really like it. Also, my kids didn't never suffered from like really extreme diaper rashes. First of all, I love moisturizing their little butts, but also it's important to get a good diaper. And especially Huggies' new line of skin essentials is dermatologist approved. So it's designed with babies' sensitive skin in mind. They feature a skin protect liner and they protect against the top two causes of rash by managing moisture and runny mess. Also, their wipes are thick and have zero harsh ingredients, and their pull ups have got your big kid covered. Okay. So, you guys, Huggies Skin Essentials, don't say that I didn't tell you. Don't say that I didn't recommend my favorite baby products to you, because that is what I use for my kids. Only that. And it really, really works for us. And I wouldn't change it. So learn more at Huggies.com. Once again, head to Huggies.com to learn more. Again, it's the Skin Essentials line, and that's what I use. As you guys already know, and you spotted in my story, Philadelphia cream cheese is front and center in this household. Thank you, pregnancy or weird thing that happened in my body that I can eat lactose again, because here I am lactosing it up, dairying it up. And thank God, because Philadelphia is not only good on your bagel, it is very good on your bagel, but it's not only good on your bagel. You guys caught me dipping, what was it, pretzels into it? Like, I'm so just like can't be managed. So dipping pretzels into it. If you want to be healthy, dip carrots into it, dip veggies into it, enhance your guacamole with it. Or if you think you're a cook, make creamy pasta Alfredo, buffalo chicken dip. Like I've told you before, Philadelphia cream cheese can make everything creamier. It enhances your favorite meals, mac and cheese, ramen, anything. You can make it creamier. If you don't believe me, just go on TikTok and search for Philadelphia cream cheese recipes, and you'll see everybody just creaming up their recipes. So if Philadelphia cream cheese isn't already a staple in your house, make it a staple. Realize that you can not only use it to smear it, but it also can be used in recipes. Who has heavy cream? Use it instead of heavy cream. Just put it in anything. Blob it in some pasta. Your kid will thank you. Your partner will thank you. Philadelphia makes everything creamier. Visit creamcheese.com for recipe inspiration, and so you can start adding Philadelphia to your recipes at home. Visit creamcheese.com. And you also, Heather, I saw talked about like, is it I don't want to get married and have kids, or like that's just not important? That's not a priority. Or are you like against it kind of?
I think that not against it. I guess for me, in terms of having kids, I guess I didn't get into a relationship that felt right to have kids. And in terms of getting married, I feel like I'm open to maybe one day getting married, but I don't, oh my God, I've known you 2 years. Now we need to get married. I feel like maybe 10 years in we could get married. Because I have these friends and they're, you know, how like, a lot of people in couples, but not one is very happy. I would say that there's a small percentage of my friends that I would say they look like their relationship is really good. But I have these two friends that I kind of modeled the two characters in my movie on that are in a couple, and they're really happy. And they basically waited 10 years to get married until they really, really knew each other. I guess I thought that was really romantic.
That is, you bring up a good point, because there's like people that have been together a long time and then they get married and everyone's like, oh, finally. And then there are people that because of like their age, in quotation marks, they feel like they have to kind of expedite the process. And I've also seen that where it's like, you know each other for a year and you haven't really uncovered all the shit. So then the shit kind of comes up later. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you've been together for a year. Like, how are you going to know that he's like, I don't fucking know. But I've seen that a lot too. And I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule, but you're right. It's kind of like, even now, sometimes I think like, how nice would it have been to get married when my kids are here? You know what I mean? I look at it differently
Oh,
now where
it's
I'm like,
romantic. It's like I know you really well. It's not like, oh, I want this dream, so I hope we have it. It's more like I know you really well, and I just want to like just show you how much I love you now that I really, really know you well.
yeah. So you sound like such a romantic. So would you say yes though, if your
I
boyfriend
mean, I
proposed?
would eventually say, not to be honest, probably to be honest, few years, but eventually, yeah, I would if we stayed together for years. I don't know. I've watched a lot of people go through divorces. It looks terrible. So I'd
And you
rather,
seem to be
it takes a
really,
long time to get to know someone,
yeah,
like you
yeah.
said. I feel like in the beginning, everyone's on their best behavior. And then you start to, okay, now I'm starting to really get to know you. And can we, accept each other and like live with each other?
You're right that 10 years is a good time. Because by 10 years,
Ha ha ha
by 10 years, for sure. Because you are right. Like people think the honeymoon phase is like 6 months. Like, no, the honeymoon phase could be like 5 years. You know what I mean?
I mean, my friend had this good saying. She's like, when you first started dating someone, you're not meeting them, you're meeting their representative.
Yeah. That's
Like how
so
they want
true.
to. I mean, I'm sure I do it too. You want to show like, oh, these are the good sides of me.
Yeah. And you and John, right? His name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
His son, you seem to have such a cute, close bond.
Yeah, his son is adorable. I mean, it's been like a growing curve, because like in my movie, it has nothing to do with my movie because I wrote the script like before I met him. But
Mm.
when you're not the
Oh
mom
wow,
and you start dating the dad,
you wrote the
you
script before you
basic
made him. Sorry, that's
no,
just
I did.
for
I
people
wrote this.
that
It took a long time to get it made, but no, it's taken a little bit of a curve because at first I think he's like, okay, well, why aren't you with my mom? But now I think he's definitely more open, and we're getting along a lot better.
that's so cute. So you're almost a MILF. You're a
Ah,
MILF stepmother.
that's funny.
Um, so again, Heather, like we talked about, you've been in so many amazing things. The Hangover is one of everybody's favorite movie that you were in. When you got cast in that
Awesome.
role, did you have any idea like how big it would be? I mean, for those listening, like Bradley Cooper became a household name after it. Like Zach Galifianakis, we first met him. Like it was, and you were kind of the most famous of them at that time.
Yeah, I think it was me and Ed Helms was pretty famous from The Office, so we
Mm.
were kind of more known than them. But I mean, Todd Phillips had done Old School, so I guess that was a huge commercial hit. So I guess I knew there was a possibility. But it is cool when you're in a movie and pretty much everyone goes to see it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And also it was like it was special in a way because you played this like Las Vegas stripper, right? And
Yeah.
you have this thing where you kind of humanize your characters and make them like even though she's like a stripper in Las Vegas that like had seen it all, you would assume, um, you have this like naivety about you. You know what I mean? That you convey in your characters that like that you make them all so likable. And it's like, yeah, of course he's gonna
Awesome.
marry the stripper. Like you kind of
I
made
know.
it
Why did
like,
he marry me? He should have married me.
did you, because I saw like a lot of people were upset you didn't come back for the second one. Did you have any of that when the second one came out? Like, were you bummed?
Yeah, I mean, I was bummed. I think that there was some female exec who was like, "Why would he marry a hooker?" Or, in the original script, I think I went back and went to the wedding with them or something. But I think there was like, well, "Why is he with a hooker?" So there was prejudice against hookers.
Really? Wait, you know that, or is that your guess that somebody?
No, I know it. I know that happened. Yeah.
Oh, so it was supposed to be, and then
No, well, not. I was never supposed to be in two, but I was supposed to drive back with them from Vegas to, I think, LA, where they go to a wedding. Originally, in the original script, I go with them. But then I think an executive, I think it was actually a woman, gave a note like, well, why are they bringing the stripper back? And this is before we had shot the movie and before I had, been in it. So they didn't see my performance. But yeah.
what was your favorite memory about making that movie?
Um, I mean, it was fun working with those guys. They're so talented. I remember we were staying in Las Vegas and we were, I guess, in Caesar's Palace and they had this great spa. And I used to go to the spa and I don't know, it's just great doing films and we got to travel around doing press, going to all these different countries. It's
Yeah.
great when you do a film and you sit in the audience and everyone's laughing. It's pretty awesome.
How different are red carpets now? I mean, I know this wasn't like 100 years ago, but like when you see red carpets now there's a new thing. I don't know if you've how observant you are to these details, but like the stars of the movies are like dressing on theme with the movie. Like let's say Austin Powers came out today, like you would be wearing like the 1970s inspired clothes to the red carpet. Like that's kind of what is happening. Where I feel like at that time, the Hangover, like you probably were wearing like a cute dress, right? It wasn't over the top then.
I mean, I feel like back at the time, there weren't as the content is getting more and more, right? Now we have so many TV shows, there's all these movies on all these streamers. There used to be less content, so people would be more invested in content because there weren't as many options. Now I feel like everyone has so many options that it doesn't feel like things are as big because all the niche markets are being watched by all these different people.
Yeah. And how are you feeling about social media? What's your relationship with it like?
I mean, I'm not as into it as I'm sure like a lot of people, but it is kind of fun in a way to watch what your friends are doing and to post about stuff that you're excited about. It kind of sometimes feels like a lot of work. How do you find it?
I I mean, I kind of that's how I started. Like your
Yeah,
job is like, something else. And then it's like, oh,
yeah.
I should go on social media. My job is social media. But it's fun that
Wow.
what I like about what I do is like I get to talk about other people's stuff. So it's not like I talk about myself all day, which I don't know how people do that, where it's like, here's my, makeup and beauty and everything I'm doing, where I get to talk about like movies and actors and celebrities. So that's fun for me because it's not about me all the time.
Yeah.
So
I mean, in a
selfless.
way, it's really cool because, like our content's not being controlled by a few people with power. It's like you can just create something and everyone's watching it, and then
Right.
you have the control, and you created your own thing. I think that's very cool.
That's a cool part about it for sure. I was shocked to find out that you are in your 50s. You're in the 50s era. That's literally, you look exactly the same. Like
Oh,
even the
thank
hair,
you.
I feel like just it's all kind of the same. First of all, give us your secrets. Second of all, how do you do it? And thirdly, in like this age and like Hollywood is so obsessed with age and aging or like not aging. Like what is your take on it?
Well, I feel like, women are 50% of the market, approximately. And so why are I want to watch movies about women in all different ages. I want to watch content about women my age and older. Why are we, adhering to this boring old model where we're all supposed to feel bad about ourselves at a certain point? It's like we are a powerful spending dollar, like we could just support women making cool things at any age.
Yeah. It's even
So I
now.
don't know about aging. It's scary in a nutshell, but at the same point, I do feel happier internally because I feel like I don't know, done a lot of, self-help stuff. So it's a mixture where part of it's scary, but part of it I feel more free. I don't care about what other people think as much,
Yeah.
and I feel happier.
So you're happier today than you were like in your 20s, 30s.
I mean, I think I love myself more and
Mhm.
I feel more relaxed and good inside myself. I mean, of course I had amazing moments at different moments in my life that were just incredible. But I would say on a daily basis, I think I do feel happier now. I think I had, to be honest, just a lot of self-hatred when I was younger. I used to be really hard on myself, even though, why? If I look back, I could say, why did I do that to myself? But I've done a good job at releasing most of that.
So what's different about 20s, 30s, Heather, and what's the same?
Well, a lot of my friends are still the same, which is great. And I do feel like my basic essence is the same. And I do think I've gotten to be a much more loving person, especially to myself. And I understand how to deal with, when things go wrong or things that stress me out. I feel like I have better tools on how to deal with it.
Yeah. It's wild that you keep saying friendships for so many years because when I, all of a sudden realize like, oh my God, I graduated college 20 years ago, or like, or I've had this friend for 20 years, like the number all of a sudden is, do you get
Yeah.
shocked by it
I
too? Or are you
mean,
like, how has
I
it
would
been
say
so
like
long?
in my movie Chosen Family, I was trying to tell the story of like basically what we're talking about, which is like growing and feeling like I think I was a people pleaser. I think I was just like, well, what do other people want me to be? Or what do other people, I wasn't as in touch with like, what do I want? What makes me happy? And then just getting to the other side. I don't want to do that. It doesn't feel good. Of course, I like when people around me are happy, but I can't prioritize myself. So I just think I wasn't able to really speak up for myself when I was younger, ask for what I want, set boundaries. I feel like I've learned that, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it does. It feels so good. You guys know that I'm a Skims girl. Like I literally will buy Skims for my own money all the time. I'll wait for a code to come in my mail because sometimes if you're like a member of their email list, you'll get like a random 20% off. So just so you know, like Skims is really for realsies in my life. I mean, the sweatpants, like I literally talked to myself in the mirror the other day because I tried to put on all these sweatpants. I'm obviously postpartum, not feeling the best in my body right now. And so many are like short on me, tight on me. Then I go ahead and put on my Skims sweats and like they make me feel so good. I'm like, thank you for making me feel good. Anyway, that's just the sweats, but obviously Skims is most known for their underwear and also their bras. Like I hated wearing underwire bras for years. But as a new mom, me and my boobs have been underneath together. And I need to be wearing a bra all the time, which is cray cray in the hey, but it happens. And thankfully, I have Skims bras that make me feel so confident in my body. Like who knew something so easy would have such an impact? So these are some of the bras that I love by Skims. You have the wireless form t-shirt bra, the weightless scoop bra. I love a weightless scoop bra. Like that's my go-to. It kind of reminds me of just like a sports bra, but not for sports kind of vibes. So you guys like believe the hype. Shop Skims bras at skims.com. It's available in 62 sizes, 30A to 46H. If you haven't yet, also let them know that I sent you. Give me some street cred. Give me some cred with Kim. After you place your order, just select podcast in the survey and then my show in the drop down menu. Thank you. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.5 APY on uninvested cash, receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses, and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. In Chosen Family, so you wrote it, you directed it, you're starring in it. Did you also do the casting? Because there's some great people in it. Julia Stiles is playing your sister. You have Andrea Savage. I mean, tell me about that, like the process of, were you involved in that as well?
No, I was totally involved in the casting. I mean, when you're making an independent movie, you don't have like the backing of a studio. So a lot of it is just reaching out to these people personally, kind of begging them to do it. And Julia is a huge star. I'm so grateful that she really loved the script. Andrea Savage, had watched her show, I'm Sorry, and I loved her show. I love her and her comedy. And she really reminds me a lot of my friend Allison, who's just got a very kind of similar personality. So I don't know, it was amazing. And Thomas Lennon, I had worked with him before, and he's awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God. So you're saying that's how they came on board? You actually personally reached out and asked them to do it?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there are a few people, so some people audition, but like the little girl. No, I was grateful to get the amazing actors that we got.
Yeah. And this is going to be released theatrically, right?
Yes, it's coming out in some theaters. It's also coming out on demand. I think you can get it on Apple TV, and I think Amazon, and probably whatever on demand.
Well, that's exciting. And you said it took a lot of years to make. Why is that?
Um, I, you know, it's kind of hard to get a movie made as a woman and like that's got a female lead. They're basically like get a male star or else we're not making it. like a famous man. And then, telling this female story and the man's not, much of a lead, that was challenging. And so, but then when Julia signed on, they're like, okay, we're not going to give you as much money as if you got a man, but we'll let you make it.
Heather.
I mean, I know there's women that don't deal with sexism and like, God bless them, but like, I felt like it was hard, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Do they say this straight up? Like,
No, they're
or
like, your name is not enough. Like you need the biggest male star in Hollywood, and we have no money, so you can't really pay him, but hopefully he can do it. I tell you, when you're making independent movies,
when you're making independent movies, it's wow. But you got it made, so that must be like so exciting that this
it
project that you
is.
were
It is.
working
It's like a
on.
miracle every time a movie gets made.
Right. Do you think you're going to keep going in this direction of like creating your own movies, or is it too much?
I would love it. I would love it. I mean, I optioned this book by Leanne Moriarty, who wrote Big Little Lies, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
getting to getting that made. And I have some other stuff that I'm writing and scripts that I optioned. So I love just female stories. So my goal would be to have like a production company that just makes female driven stories, like a Reese Witherspoon, Margot Robbie type production company.
Oh yeah. Who is your biggest inspiration, would you say?
I mean, definitely you like Reese Witherspoon and Margot Robbie. I mean, both of them are just pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And just yeah, they're awesome.
So if you could go back to reboot or reunion with any of your previous movies, which one would you choose?
Uh, well, I don't know, maybe Boogie Nights was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a 30, oh my God, not 30. How many years? I can't even do the math.
It was like 97,
Yeah.
maybe,
Oh,
something
right.
like that.
There could be like a 30
Yeah. So it's like
year reunion.
27. Yeah, yeah.
Would you ever write a book? I feel like you have so much to tell, and like I feel like there's a theme with the female friendships and also with like, you know, women and sexism. Like I feel like those are really important topics to you.
I've had some fun in my life. I could definitely tell some stories. I don't know. Should I tell them? I'm not sure.
I think you
But
should.
I've thought about it. I like turning it into a movie so it's not just directly like, well, this exactly happened. But I don't know, because like my friend Molly Shannon, she wrote a book about her life and I loved it. I don't know if you read it, but it's great. You should read it.
Mm,
It's called Hello, Molly. But yeah, I don't know. Part of me feels private about, I don't know, sharing every aspect of my life, but I have thought about it.
yeah. I feel like you could, I feel like it would be very good. I feel like people would want it. And speaking of writing, you did write in 2017 an op-ed for Variety about Harvey Weinstein, where he basically told you you could get roles if you slept with him.
Right, right.
And you also said that you were, at the time, I kind of understood from you that you maybe regretted not telling it sooner because Ashley Judd had or something like that. Do you have any regrets about it, about sharing it or not sharing it sooner?
No, I feel super proud of sharing it. I mean, it's funny. My publicist was like, if this is all you ever did in your career, you could feel proud. Like I'm so glad that I was part of Me Too. I mean, I wasn't really approached by the amazing people that did those articles. And I think maybe my story wasn't quite as dramatic because I never went to his hotel room and, I never, thank God, got physically attacked. But I just think that was a really great moment in history that I feel so proud that I was part of, just part of the women that came forward and told those stories and helped put them in jail and created a better environment for women in the business.
Yeah, that's probably, I mean, it's been, we've seen it in movies and on TV, but hearing it happen to a real person, like you were actually in a position that somebody, said, if you do this, you'll get this.
No, I know it was really creepy. Honestly, it was really creepy, but to be in the business at that time, and I'm sure even today this could be happening, but it's kind of this idea of like just don't put your, oh, well, it's kind of blame the victim, right? Like, oh, well, why were you in his office? Well, I was on a meeting set up by my agent, and the fact that he got punished kind of blew my mind, because I feel like things like this have happened through the centuries to women and there were no consequences, right? So the fact that finally there were some consequences is actually hugely inspiring, because I think there's so many people that got away with such horrible behavior in the past.
Yeah. So you're saying you're more shocked that he got punished for what he did than shocked by the things that he did.
Well, of course, I am shocked by the things that he did. I mean, I didn't realize that he was raping people. I mean, I knew that he was sexually harassing people because he had sexually harassed me, but yeah, to be honest, was really shocked that he got punished, because it seemed like, that like the powerful dudes that have like money and power are protected and get away with these horrible things.
And do you feel like Hollywood has come away since then? Like, do you feel like it's a safe space now?
I don't think it's a fully safe space, but I think that there are safer aspects, and there's more boundaries, and there's a way that people can talk about it and know that they will be listened to. Whereas there was no precedent before, like, well, this actress came forward against this powerful, successful producer, director, whatever, and then he got put in jail. Can you think of any other story where that's ever happened in the past?
Right.
I mean, it's possible it's happened like once or twice, but there's no precedent of people getting in trouble for this kind of thing.
Right. I mean, and like you said, it started a full movement that you're right. Like you should feel very proud that
But
you
I
were a
think a
part of
lot
it.
of it is women, that we have more agency. We're making money. We're not as dependent on men, needing them to support us financially. So we could say this isn't cool, and all these women that were journalists and all these different women that work in companies, and I think we're a bigger part of the workforce, so that we can help make better rules for women coming up, and hopefully we can, change things.
Yeah. And I feel like now also there's social media and there's so many different ways you can like say something, you know? And also you can't
Right.
hide in plain sight anymore. Like there are people everywhere. There, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like you can't hide anymore. You can't be
I
like,
mean, I think there's still people getting away with doing stuff. You
yeah,
know what I mean? I do think that is true, but I think that it's starting to get less, and they're starting to feel like, I think women are just feeling safer speaking up when they feel uncomfortable about this stuff, which I think is amazing.
I also think like your trajectory, Heather, like you were the sex symbol. You did so much work has been like, you're seen as this sex symbol in Hollywood. And did you ever have feelings about it that were you like, yay, like I'm hot and I'm getting, these roles? Or did you ever want to be taken more seriously or do more dramatic roles or anything like that?
I mean, I think it was both. I definitely, coming from this insecure, awkward kid and then being told
Mm.
you're a sex symbol, it feels good. And then, of course, yeah, I did want to do serious roles. And yeah, there were moments of frustration. And at the same point, I wanted to support myself financially. So I was happy to take the roles I was given and make enough money to support myself, because when I look at my family, I think about my parents, and I just think my mom put up with a lot of stuff because she didn't have economic freedom. Like, he was paying for everything. So I think one of my main goals was just, I want to be self-supporting financially, and I want to pay for my own life and not have to rely on the guy that I'm with. And I feel like I succeeded in that, which I'm so grateful.
I mean, you did succeed in that. You did succeed in that. Thank you so much, Heather, for coming on my show and for talking about your new
Yeah.
project, Chosen Family. So good, you guys. Go watch it. Find it in the theater near you, or it's going to be streaming as well. And it's so good seeing you on screen and in our lives.
Thanks. Thanks for having me on your cool podcast. I've been listening to it. It's really cool.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Yeah.